Welcome to Beijing, everyone. The final day of competition in the Grand Prix final. As we take a look at the city of Beijing and the National Indoor Stadium, I'm Ted Barton along with Mark Hanratty, and we are about to cover the final event, the men's free program.
It's been such an exciting day of competition. I am excited and exhilarated at the prospect of more brilliance, and the men's event saved for the end of this Grand Prix final, I assume, because it's so hotly contested. And we already saw some brilliance and new ground broken in the men's short program with the landing of a quad axel by Ilia Malinin. What more excitement has been reserved, we hope, for this final event of the day?
Yeah, and for the last few years, the women's event has been sort of the premier event, not only in the Grand Prix, but also at the World Championships. But the men's event is kind of taking over here. It's such a close competition. We've got technical prowess, of course, with the quad axle. Plus, we have programs that are just out of this world with skaters defying gravity. It's remarkable.
And pertinent and important, I think, to know, having just watched the women's event with Kaori Sakamoto, is to acknowledge how many of the men are in their 20s, and Shoma Uno, the world champion, in his mid-20s, and that's something that, again, is just cementing the idea that we're enjoying seeing skaters continue to compete competitively at the very best of their sport into their mid-20s and beyond, and I think that's really positive for us to connect with them over multiple seasons and garner a bigger viewership and fanship of these amazing athletes.
Yes, and you mentioned, Mark, in the ice dance, a number of them over 30, and then of course we have a pair skater at 40. It's quite extraordinary.
So true.
Yes, as we prepare for the men's free program. This will be exciting, as all the events have been so far.
I cannot wait to see what will happen and whether or not the quad axle will return. Ilia Malinin having just less than a points lead over the world champion. We can't discount the likes of Yuma Kagiyama. What we don't know is whether or not Kao Miura will definitely compete. The world junior champion didn't attend practice yesterday on the day off for the men, nor did he attend the official practice this morning, so yet to be confirmed whether or not he's fit enough to skate. We so sincerely hope so.
As we look at the officials for this event, and we get ready for the countdown, the big countdown. This is quite part of the show. Love it. And you'll see that in the video board in the background in a few moments as we take a look at the technical panel for the men's free program.
Michael Hopfus, I think a name I remember, a German competitor, and Cynthia Benson, a judge that you know well, Ted, that we've seen on the Junior Grand Prix. They commit so much of their lives to supporting the athletes and the sport.
Absolutely, and you can see the men a little bit of tension, not tension, but you know, they're not joking around as much as they usually do. They're pretty focused. The degree of difficulty of their programs is of the highest level. You know, we do see Kao Miura there.
Good to see.
Here's the countdown. And then blast off. Well, the first skater represents France. Didn't have a great short program, but is a great performer and technician as well. Siao Him Fa. Also representing France, the innovative, creative Kevin Aymoz. And from Japan, Kao Miura, fourth after the short program. And the spectacular technician, Yuma Kagiyama, learning to grow in performance as well. And the world champion, Shoma Uno. Never, ever count this young man out. And in the lead after the short program, Ilia Malinin.
Skaters, your 6-minute warm-up begins now.
Will Siao Him Fa be able to do enough? He was the final competitor in the short program based on him being so successful in the Grand Prix series, and as we see him now warming up, it was interesting because I thought he would struggle in his back-to-back Grand Prix assignments, and yet traveling from France and Angers, his win at the Grand Prix de France, to the Cup of China just 1 week later, he maintained that momentum. You wonder now whether or not, just a couple of weeks out from that, he almost needed to stay on that trajectory, on the treadmill. Maybe the 2-week gap was not optimal for this talented Frenchman.
Yeah, and he said after the short program, I feel a bit disappointed after my mistake on the Lutz, but competition's not over yet. I will take a day off tomorrow, do what I can. In the I don't know the reason, I need to go back and rewatch the element. I actually felt really good today. Tried not to think about it being a favorite. Anything can happen on any day. I'll simply do my best.
And then, surprised to see Kevin Aymoz, perhaps as the higher ranked Frenchman, after the short program. Such a beautiful, beautiful skater, and he has such special memories of Beijing after his first Olympics here. And interesting that he noted to me that it's his first Olympics, with then the assumption that we will be able to enjoy his skating at least through to the 2026 games.
And at the conclusion of the short program, he said, "I'm so happy to be here. After all, I felt stressed, but not stressed at the same time. I'm just happy to be here. It's crazy. It's already been 4 years since my last Grand Prix final."
Great to see Kao Miura on the ice. As I mentioned earlier, he didn't take part in the practice yesterday, so the men had competition on Thursday, day of just practice and relative rest yesterday, and he didn't take part in practice, nor did he attend the official practice. So we sincerely send our very best wishes in the assumption that he's suffering a little bit with illness.
I said after the short, the three before me had such amazing performances, so I worried if I would be able to do it too. I felt that I wanted to follow them up with a good performance without thinking about rankings. Although I made small mistakes, even so, it was a situation where it would have ended if I didn't have a combination. So I was slightly worried because of the quad was a little off.
This next skater is in third after the short program.
And now to Yuma Kagiyama, the Olympic silver medalist, twice a world silver medalist, but this his first Grand Prix final. He was scheduled for glory en route to the Grand Prix final back in 2021, but the event was cancelled due to COVID. Now he's since then had injury and illness, but back confidently now.
And after the short, he said, "I was able to enjoy the competition in the short program. It was really fun because this was the competition that made me feel this is what I wanted to do. I think since the Olympics, I've also improved."
And now to the two-time world champion. He said that it wasn't long since the Olympics back in Beijing, but he said that a lot has happened in the passage of time since then, and he seems, since that event, to have grown as an artist and as a human, perhaps too, ever more mature with every event that he attends.
And he said that at the start, after the short program, I was calmer during NHK Trophy, but after the 6-minute warm-up, I was quite anxious until it was the time for the steps. It became a performance where I just focused on calming down and jumping.
Ilia Malinin, the quad god, and when I asked him, if there's anything that he would like us to mention regarding him or his training, he said that he wants to be known as an innovator and game changer. And it's a bold statement to make such a choice of vocabulary, but he absolutely is. He's an innovator, innovating the content of short program in the men's discipline. He's game changing in achieving the likes of quad axel, and he's not scared to try to take the applause from the audience right here in Beijing.
Yeah, I saw that. And he said after the short, "I came here to surprise everyone. It was a lot of pressure on me. I knew it would really be hard for me to try it again, the quad axel that is, and do it." And he did it in the short in brilliant style. Makes history.
And if he can maintain first place after the free skate, he will do, as we discussed yesterday, make history in copying what his mom achieved in 1999 in St. Petersburg at the Grand Prix final when Tatiana Malinin won gold then. And it's interesting, Tatiana's not here, and I don't think Tatiana attended his Grand Prix series events either. I imagine that, I don't know, I can't speak for a mother, but I imagine that the nerves and anxiety of a mother watching her son at this elite level.
I think his father, keeps a little calmer, and mom is anxious and passionate and wears her heart on her sleeve, and yeah. So she doesn't attend a lot of the competitions. She was in the junior Grand Prix early on in his career.
Mm-hmm. Well, I remember traveling back from one of the junior Grand Prix that we attended with a student from that school, and they were joking that Ilia's father, Roman Skornyakov, is like good cop and his mother Tatiana is like bad cop. But it takes
Yeah.
that and how lucky he is that he has two parents so supportive of him, offering both the carrot and the stick in
that's-
terms of improvement.
It's a very good analysis. I think it's exactly that. And you need both, and he has both. And here we go. We get started. This is going to be exciting. We wish all the skaters the very best for their personal performances as we sit back and enjoy. The first from France, Siao Him Fa. Had some problems in the short program. He's brilliant, innovative, an athlete and an artist. 207.17 season's best in the free program, and skating to music from Max Richter.
Seen some scintillating quad lutzes from Adam earlier in the Grand Prix series, but struggled yesterday with it. Unbelievable, off axis, but still manages to land the quad lutz. Comfortable quad toe, triple toe. Again, off axis, that time on quad salco. Fourth quad and the best quality quad toe loop. He just appears to have springs in his legs and takeoffs like that triple axel. Famous Arabian seems to get higher with every event.
Well, you have to put Siao Him Fa deep into the mix to medal in Montreal. He's just a spectacular performer. He has the technical content, and you're right, how he hung on to that quad lutz at the top of the program is like a cat, comes down on his feet.
It is fascinating, and I'm also so amazed at the elevation he generates on the takeoff of the triple axel. I assume he would be capable of quad axel. It's just as to whether or not he can devote the time to that mid-season. He works with a coach and athletic trainer, Diego Diabacat, and I've seen him doing plyometric work, but he just, whether it's the plyometric work, the strength and conditioning, but Adam just, like I say, appears to have springs in his legs to generate the height that he does.
Uses the momentum across the ice so well into jumps, as we see the opening.
And here, the fact that he appears off axis, how early he opened, to be able to salvage a jump like that of such difficulty, just amazing. Slight change of edge on the landing of the first quad toe into the triple toe. Wasn't the case for the second quad toe, which was super impressive. This triple flip, Euler, triple salto. And this won't come as close to the brilliance he achieved in both of his Grand Prix assignments, as we see him stepping out of the quad salto. He crossed that 200-point marker in the free skate, becoming one of just very few people to do that, as we see a glorious quad toe. And Adam explained that when he was younger, he said it was harder for him to express or connect with music, but now it's just so much fun for him to skate. And hopefully it's that fun that will see him go on to potentially become a world medalist there. Like I say, springs in his legs. And, you know, Ted, so many differences. Shoma, I think, the best skating skills. Yuma Kagiyama, the best jump technique perhaps, but not as difficult content. Ilia's got the quad axel. Adam is a good cross of them all. He has great technique. He has a Lutz, which is higher difficulty. And he's, as you say, very much in the running for the World Championship title. Just too much to do, I think, after the short program here.
Yeah, for sure. But moving forward, he has it all. Just whether he will deliver it all at the moment. Let's take a look. 189.92. That is, of course, first. He's the first skater out in this event with a 278.28. So he falls short, certainly, of his best, but he has a lot left in the tank there, and we'll see that perhaps at the European Championships and certainly in Montreal at the Worlds. He's a player.
Our next skater represents France.
And his colleague and teammate is up next, Kevin Aymoz from France. 181.75, his season's best. He's 26 years old. And he'll skate the free program to Bolero by Raval.
Toe, triple toe to open for Kevin. Tripling the second intended quad. Mega difficult transition, but a fall on the triple axel. Now, Kevin falls. Popping another triple axel into a single. Not sure if there's something physically awry after the difficult falls at the start, or just no, some mental fragility. It's a performance that Kevin wishes he could restart entirely. Well, any frustration being born out in the choreo sequence.
Wow. What a I mean, it's amazing. What a contrast in this 4 minutes. Just unbelievable. And you know, Mark, I felt when the program began, I thought he was in a trance, completely focused. But was it a trance technically which loses the connection with the music, or was it a trance of performance which can lose the connection to technical? And I thought he was in such a trance to perform this that once that first mistake came, it broke the trance and it broke the concentration technically, and then it just went downhill from there.
And just couldn't reconnect. I mean,
Yeah.
I think you're entirely right. And one of the most wondrous things about Kevin Aymoz and Coach Sylvia is how they wear their heart on their sleeves, how they give us an insight into their souls almost with their passionate interpretation. But it's a blessing and a curse, because you felt like we were living every emotion in that 4-minute free skate. Started well, quad toe, triple toe, not technically as sound as others. In the short program, Kevin was almost joint second on the program component scores as we see him pop the second quad, which suggests that amidst a European champion, world champion, Olympic medalist, Kevin's right up there. But he has to be technically absolutely pristinely perfect with his less difficult planned program content, and under-rotated triple loops, falls like that. We'll see him completely drift off from a competitive standpoint. But then, that said, as we look at the flip, you see a choreo sequence, which I think probably the best in the event. I would be hard pushed to find a better choreo sequence than what Kevin delivered, which was the 12th and final element in his program.
Yeah, and I agree with you, because I think he put his gave his frustration out in that sequence. The anger, internal perhaps, but external.
I mean, some of the judges that have seen that kind of reaction for the dancers have had a nicer face than that one. That was scary.
It'd be like a little scary, whoa.
Yeah.
But this is a remarkable performer who had a disastrous day. No question, you can't avoid that. It was not a good skate, and I wondered if he was over-focused. I don't know, but I've never seen him so intense at the beginning and then lose so much during the program technically.
And so intense at the end in a different way.
Yeah.
Aymoz has earned 126.
Well, 126.71, of course, that is second in the free program, and with a 219.91, this will be really low. He'll probably end up 6th, but this is an experience that I think he will not let happen again. He'll review this, what happened, and learn from it as he moves forward in the season.
Our next skater represents Japan.
Our next competitor represents Japan, Kao Miura. 181.02 is his season best in the free program, earning that in Espo. And we'll see what he has. He didn't practice. Not exactly sure why, but he's on the ice to compete as he skates to attack on tight.
Saw quad loop in the warm-up. Not as good as warm-up, stepping out the first element. Recovering with quad toe. Possible step out of the triple axel turned into the other triple salto. Kao managed to generate lots of speed late in the program, but still another step out on that quad toe.
Well, it seems to be quite the thing about ending right in front of the judging panel. It seems to happen quite often. You know, when I was watching this program by Kao, I was thinking of another ice sport as he sort of stumbles a little bit through fatigue, perhaps an injury, we're not sure, but I was thinking about ice hockey. Why was I thinking about ice hockey? Because no one takes a 4-minute shift. And this is a 4-minute program with jumping and spinning and speed and acceleration and degree of difficulty and having to perform and look good at the same time. This sport is so incredibly difficult. We often forget about that. Wow,
Yeah,
looks to be a little bit injured as he goes off the ice.
It's so true, and we've referenced the exhaustion of a senior men's free skate already on the Grand Prix series, but unless you've experienced it, we could say this every event for the next decade, you can never fully appreciate how exhausting it is. And that coupled with the fact that Kao didn't, as I say, practice yesterday, didn't practice this morning. In his post-skate interview after the short program, he didn't allude to any illness or injury, so not sure what's affected his absence from those practices. But if he's struggling, even if he's not struggling, to not skate for 2 days, that would be anxiety-inducing for any athlete at this event. There's the quad loop. He did it comfortably in warm-up, and I would have really hoped for that to be a reassuring start to the program. But the same kind of step-outs or touchdowns plagued many of the most technically difficult jumping passes for Kao Miura, world junior champion and the 4 continents champion, who seems to carry the heavy burden of not making the world senior championships last year. He's often referenced in interviews how he felt that he had the heart of a loser or scared in his senior debut last year, and seems to really carry that burden of not making a home world championship team for Japan. Said that he was eager as we see him step out again of another jumping pass at the quad toe. Seems to be so desperate to prove himself to make the world team this year, and certainly qualifying for the Grand Prix final does send a signal to the Japanese Skating Federation. But again, left foot tapping down, touching the ice at this point, just exhausted towards the end of the 4 minutes.
It is incredible the physical output that these skaters provide and need and require in 4 minutes. And we often take a wide, high view of it. Oh, it's a nice program, or is this or that. What is the physical demand on these athletes? It's just extraordinary. And I want to salute all the athletes for this amazing work that they do and pressure they put on both their mind and body. Free program score 166.67 for Kao Miura of Japan. That's second in the free program with a total competition score of 261.53. Kao takes over second place, at least for the moment. There is the skater that currently holds on to third place after the short program, Yuma Kagiyama. 20 years old, 182.88 is his season's best. It's a 208.94 personal best. That was a huge score at the 2022 Winter Olympic Games right here in Beijing. He looks to be back on track as he'll skate the free program to Rain in Your Black Eyes by Izio Busso.
Only 2 quad jumps planned for Yuma Kagiyama on his planned program content. This first quad salto is probably one of the best techniques you'll ever see. Oh no, just the double. recovers brilliantly with quad toe, the triple salto. Triple axel, double axel, and a beautiful inside spread eagle, and a change of music.
Well, Yuma Kagiyama has a flair for the dramatic, that's for sure, as we see Carolina Kostner in the background there behind the boards, helping with this skater. Boy, not sure if it's an inside or just a normal axle in the step sequence, just came out of nowhere, Mark.
And, you know, this is where it's exciting to see the difference in this athlete, because the complexity of the transitions and the emotion, now the music, popular piece of music that we've seen from others use, but it demands such intensity towards the end, and Yuma Kagiyama is now a human capable of living up to that. He's not technically where he wants to be because of the injuries and the derailment of his progression technically, but undoubtedly advancements made in his components, and what an exciting and thrilling end to that free skate.
No question, he's becoming an all-round skater. So we take a look at the first element here.
And that, the salvation from the quad salto, I fear I jinxed him, because the quad salto normally is just a divine example of jumping quality, but popped it here. And for Yuma Kagiyama, the likes of that triple loop, comparatively easy, but what makes this special is where we see this triple axel and the double axel, it was phrased beautifully to the music, the comprehension of more than just the skating skills technique, the jump technique, but the way in which it is pieced together in the composition of this program. His father and new coach Carolina watch ringside. Slight change of edge on the landing, not comfortable as he would have perhaps liked, but we have to be mindful of the fact that Yuma Kagiyama is returning, very much returning. A more mature human, but still one that had a sizable amount of time off the ice where he couldn't advance himself technically.
There's no question that he has the physical ability to do all the jumps that the others are doing. That's just a matter of time, though.
And you know, it's interesting that the first time that he'd qualified for the Grand Prix finals, we see Adam wait to see his fate. When he first qualified for the Grand Prix final, the event was cancelled, but he was leading into that event as a favourite. Now, completely different context, but hopefully a very positive one for Yuma and his team.
182.88 is best from an NHK trophy, and it's a 184.93, so 2 points up in the new season's best. And that's second in the free program with a 288.65 as Yuma Kagiyama takes over the lead. 2 skaters to come. He's on the podium.
That seems satisfied.
Yes. He says, okay, let's go.
Our next skater represents Japan.
Representing Japan, Shoma Uno, world champion. 2 times. Second after the short program. He'll need a 182 to take the lead. He'll skate the free program to time lapse in Spiegel.
But this morning in practice, he popped the quad loop into single with a fall. But no such issue. Quad loop to start. Followed up with quad flip. Pops the second triple axel into a single. Quad toe, triple toe. Another quad to the applause of his coach, Stéphane Lambiel. Changing the planned program content. Another triple axel and later after the pop earlier in the program. Just makes simple 3 turns look beautifully elegant.
Wow. Well, this young man adapted and adjusted his program to max the points, knowing he needs it.
Representing Japan.
That was quite remarkable. 4 quads.
And isn't it interesting, having heard Shoma in interviews be so open and honest about how this season he desires artistry, desires storytelling, desires to be not just a technical athlete, but ultimately still a competitor. And those deviations in the planned program content align with the desire that he's still a competitor wanting to, you know, still be the best. And interestingly, Yuma Kagiyama had said about how Shoma is his idol as we see this opening quad loop. And Yuma beating Shoma motivated Shoma to say he wants to still be someone's idol, and that pushing him forward in training as we see the quad flip, quarter rotation short as it was deemed at the NHK Trophy in Osaka. But undoubtedly the best skating skills of all the men. How much can he bank on that when you're up against the technical prowess of Ilia Malinin yet to skate? Here the quad toe. Comfortably done in combo with triple toe. And then the other. What's interesting though with Shoma is that I'm not as aware of the quad content because it is more seamlessly interspersed within the choreography. And that's one of the factors that make him the 2-time world champion. And can he go on and repeat as Grand Prix final champion like the likes of Nathan Chen and Yuzuru Hanyu have done before him?
Well, we'll find out. And the technical elements are simply part of the choreography with a skater. They don't separate out as technical and artistic. It's all woven and weaved beautifully together.
And interesting, Ted, that there's a time violation for Shoma. He was over time on the combo spin at the end as he struggled to try and squeeze in the final features. And that will have had an impact, I think, on the composition and presentation because the spellbinding way he performs to this music was kind of quashed a little bit at the end when he ran over time. So components might not be as high as they otherwise might have been as he made those technical adjustments.
Yeah, they're in the low to mid 9s. His season's best 186, his personal best 204 for the free program. And this score is a 191.32. That's a season's best. First in the free program with a total competition score of 297.34, just 3 points off the 300-point mark as he takes over the lead with one skater to come. There's a perfect example of sport and art woven together with a little bit of magic. Our next competitor, the final competitor, the leader after the short program, Ilia Malinin. He's choreographed by Shailin Bourne, former world ice dance champion. His mom, Tatiana Melina, and Roman Skriniakov. His father, 206.41 personal best in Skate America, skating to succession.
History made with the quad axel on the short program 2 days ago. He uses it. Will be now at the start of this, the free skate. And seemingly a rarity. When he does it, it's normally clean, but a fall on that opening quad axel for Ilia. But he makes quad loops just look like transitional content, so easy looking for Ilia. Quad loop, again, effortless. Sapo. Second quad loops with an Euler triple salto. Crazily hard triple axel as the final jumping pass.
That's simply ridiculously good from a technical perspective, and also improved performance as well. Mark, just remarkable.
Yeah, the commitment to the presentation also brilliant, and you know, a joke about him being the self-proclaimed title quad god, but he does own it because the fall on that opening quad axle which as I suggested might be a little bit of a surprise because normally when he attempts it, it's done well. Didn't derail anything, and instead it appeared to put a fire up his belly to make sure everything else was comfortably clean.
I mean, it's remarkable. At the end of the program, triple Lutz, triple axel.
And
Just incredible sequence.
I don't think he's done quad loop in competition before. I think I've seen it only online. So now he's done all 6 quads. So salto, loop, flip, lutz, and axel. So that in itself now in this event, actually he hasn't done flip in this event, but now in competition, showcasing his mastery of all the quads for the quad god. Just brilliant. And obviously a mindfulness of presentation, as we said, but here was the opening quad axel off axis, and a pretty painful fall. You can see his body ricochet in reaction to the tumble, but the cameraman wanting to give us opportunity to see it again. Shame we didn't get more opportunities to see the short program one, which was so brilliant. Here, the quad salco slip step entry, difficult transition going in. And the way that he comes out of it looks like it's just box ticking each element off his planned program content. Quad lutz, Euler, triple salco. Here, the quad tone. We've referenced both his parents, but upon further research, his grandfather, I think, coached his mother at some point, Valerie Malinin, and so this Malinin family continues a sort of dynasty, if you like, and as he aspires to be a game changer in the sport. And he's going to do what we predicted, copy his mom as a Grand Prix final champion.
Yeah, and he is already a game changer, and what is more to come, we'll find out. He's still very young, he's just 19, so much more to come over the next number of years. Just hope he stays healthy. As we take a look at the free program score for Ilia, 207.76. God, pretty happy. Season's best. There you go. High five. Come on, let's go, son. 314.66 as Ilia takes the title. As he calmly sits there and looks at the scores. That is awesome.
A new personal best. Just amazing scenes.
Yeah, the skaters, less impressed than the coach and the father. It's just amazing. Wow.
Can't wait to get
We'll hear from him and There is a look at the final standings, 314 to 297. Yuma Kagiyama, 288, your top 3 skaters. And it'll be interesting to hear the interview with Ilia and his thoughts on his program. And this sets up just such an exciting European Championships, 4 Continents Championships, of course, that'll be the big one. And also the World Championships, of course, in Montreal. It's just going to be amazing. These men have such difficult programs. You will see mistakes, but they're remarkable athletes. Let's take a listen.
Ilia Malinin. Ladies and gentlemen, we just finished the men's free skating competition. I'm really happy to be here with Ilia Malinin. Congratulations, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling just amazing. I just don't know. I don't have words for what just happened. I'm just still trying to express and still trying to think of what's going on. It's an incredible feeling to me. I've never felt like this before.
他现在非常非常的开心，已经说不出来话了。这次有没有带着特定的目标来？ Did you have a placement goal in mind when you came here, or are you looking for season best?
When I came here, I was really just not in such a great mood to skate, but coming here and knowing that I should just trust my training and trust all the hours I put in, and I'm just really glad I put out here.
他来这里就是相信自己平时训练的成果，然后带着信心来参加这场比赛。想对粉丝说些什么 ？Do you have anything you want to say to your fans?
I just want to say thank you to everyone here to supporting me through my whole program. It just means a lot. I'm just so excited. The energy that you guys are bringing here is just amazing and helped me get through this amazing program. Thank you so much.
感谢大家对他的支持，让他完成了这套节目。Thank you so much. Congratulations again. Have a good time in Beijing. 让我们再次祝贺美国选手 Ilia Malinin。
Ilia speaking with a maturity that's matching his maturing skating as well. Quad God triumphantly winning. As we look back to see Yuma Kagiyama, he was 4th in the free skate. Managed to maintain his podium spot as he returns from injury. And what a threat he could be if he can start to increase the technical difficulty back in line with what he's achieved pre-injury status. Shoma Uno, the 2-time world champion, winner last year, silver medalist here. His program component score is 6 points higher than Ilia. That not enough to contend with the 23-point margin higher Ilia had from the tech score. We excitedly look forward to the last part of the season. See how these skaters return to training before they duel again. A new costume, new hair, more great quads for Ilia Malinin. He was defeated at the Grand Prix de France, Siao Him Fa, but wins the more prestigious Grand Prix final, having finished 3rd 12 months ago in Torino. What's most impressive is that it wasn't just a win for Ilia Malinin, but a convincing one. 17 points higher than the 2-time world champion. Well, that concludes the competition across all disciplines in both junior and senior ranks in Beijing. We look forward to seeing the medal presentations shortly for the senior men, senior women and senior ice dancers who have entertained us throughout the day.
Prix of Figure Skating Final 2023 Victory Ceremony Men.
The ISU fanfare signaling the start of 3 medal ceremonies, which begins with the men who have just concluded a very exciting and thrilling event. Much anticipation of a competition following a truly unbelievable Grand Prix series where more men surpassed the 300-point total marker. And the Olympic silver medalist Yuma Kagiyama manages to maintain a bronze medal position. And Yuma will head from here towards Japanese national championships with a view to returning to the Japanese world team.
And winner of the silver medal from Japan.
And you have to assume that he will be joined by Shoma Uno. His silver medal winning streak this season continues. Second at Cup of China, second in Osaka at the NHK Trophy, second at the final. But maintaining his position as one of the best in the world so many seasons after season. He was, I think, a junior world champion back in 2014, so it's nearly 10 years since he was one of the best juniors in the world, and maintaining the fitness levels that he's had through these Olympic cycles.
And winner of the
Really
gold
incredible.
medal from United States of America.
But the
Ilia
event
Malinin.
belongs to Ilia Malinin. He celebrated his 19th birthday last Saturday. One of the youngest competitors on the senior men's circuit. Perhaps it's that youthful naivety that allows him to believe that truly anything is possible, including the history-making quad axel in the short program here. And a massive 314-point total, which will continue to cement his place as a legend of the sport. And what's even more amazing is that in the post-event interview, he acknowledged that he didn't feel optimal coming into the competition. But this arena at the National Indoor Stadium, motivating and inspiring the 19-year-old to achieve brilliance at the Grand Prix Final 2023.
He will award the medals.
Georgi Elik awarding the medals. Confirmation upon the conclusion of the event that the junior world champion Kao Miura is suffering from a stomach illness, and that the rationale and reason why we didn't see him in practices this morning or yesterday. And that only serves
Please
to
welcome Li,
confirm how
General
amazing it was that
Secretary
he
of Chinese
took
Figure
part.
Skating Association.
As we see the General Secretary of the Chinese Figure Skating Association extend her congratulations to the medalists.
She will award the gifts. Please welcome
Gift
the
awarded.
referee, Fabio Bianchetti.
This will
And
be the
technical
final rostrum
controller,
for the men
Cynthia
before they
Benson.
continue toward their respective national championships. The Japanese national championships held at Christmas time.
They extend their congratulations to the medalists.
As the technical controller and referee congratulate all three men. Ilia Malinin will head towards the US National Championships in Columbus, Ohio in early January.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of the winner.
女士们、先生们，请起立，奏美国国歌。
are your medalists.
女士们、先生们，让我们向获奖运动员表示热烈的祝贺。
So Adam Siao Him Fa, the Frenchman, came into the event as the possible favourite, having beaten all others on the Grand Prix series. But it is Ilia Malinin who takes the title. He was 9th at the World Championships in Montpellier, France in 2022. Climbed onto the podium with a bronze medal in Saitama, Japan in March of this year. After radicalizing expectations when he landed a quad axel during last year's Grand Prix series. Where will he go from here? 9th, 3rd? Will he be a champion in Montreal? But whatever the outcome of the World Championships, it's wonderful to see the camaraderie amongst the medalists. And interesting to hear the words of the two-time world champion Shoma Uno, who said to the Japanese press that he is excited to have such high-level rival competitors. And in his words, figure skaters do not directly fight with each other to win, so I feel that we are all comrades. And with Shoma as the defending world champion, I think that's a wonderful message to send to all others as these men continue to push boundaries of the sport united in advertising the brilliance of figure skating competitively. And we sincerely hope that the groundbreaking achievements technically of Ilia Malinin with his quad axel, as the US team leader passes him a flag, will gain more traction and more viewership, more fans for this wonderful Winter Olympic sport. Whilst he won fairly convincingly, he is not alone in his brilliance with such a strong event throughout all 6 men. Kevin Aymoz struggling today, but we wish him well as he heads towards the European Championships, hoping to medal once more. Such a charismatic and beautiful skater. Great scenes here. Again, just confirmation that they're inspired by one another. As I mentioned during the event, Shoma Uno saying that hearing Yuma Kagiyama reference Shoma as one of his idols, who then subsequently goes on to beat him again this season, motivates Shoma to continue working hard. And that one of the reasons I'm sure that he's so passionately committed to continuing in the competitive arena. Again, success for Japanese men. So often the final has been won. Some brilliant Japanese men. Shoma Uno, Yuzuru Hanyu, Daisuke Takahashi. Legends of the sport. Last year it was a 1-2 for Japan, with Shoma winning and Sota Yamamoto taking the silver above Ilia in 3rd place. 2 more Japanese men on the rostrum again this year, confirming one of the strongest nations in the sport. And as the lights are dimmed, we can look forward to seeing the upcoming medal ceremony for the 2 more disciplines, the senior women and senior ice dancers who were so brilliant earlier in the day.
ISU Grand Prix of Figure Skating Final 2023 Victory Ceremony Ice Dance
2023到2024赛季国际滑联世界花样滑冰大奖赛总决赛冰上舞蹈颁奖仪式现在开始。
And now to the ice dance medalists.
Third, and winners of the bronze medal.
They were the bronze medalists at the World Championships in Saitama, Japan. They won this title 12 months ago in Torino. But when asked about their commitment to the end of this Olympic cycle toward 2026, Piper suggested they're doing what Piper and Paul want, living in the moment, and perhaps ever more mindful of that with the health challenges that they've had. And great to see that despite the fact that they don't achieve the same top spot that they were rewarded with in Torino 12 months ago, they seem as happy and joyful continuing to showcase their hard work here as they did before.
Second, and winners of the silver medal.
银牌获得者
From Italy,
意大利组合
and Marco Fabri.
And now some sublime skating skills from Charlene Guinard and Marco Fabri. They will be happy to have moved up from the bronze medal position last year to now a silver. In fact, 2 bronze medals prior to this, so that will give them some satisfaction as they give hugs to the skaters that they have known and competed against for a decade now. Visible respect between them all.
First, and winners of the gold medal.
金牌获得者
From United States of America,
美国组合
Madison Chalk.
And now, finally, they've done it. 7 times Grand Prix final participants, 4 times silver, now gold medalists. But upon their interview with Goldskate following the event, what was so gorgeous to hear is that despite waiting all this time to achieve a title like this, Evan said that finding each other was the biggest gift skating gave us, and they are so excited to become even closer by becoming husband and wife soon. That looks like a really warm and empathic hug. It's been a heavily contested event, speculation as to who would be triumphant, but they all obviously respect one another. And that makes ice dance fans around the world very proud to see
Please welcome
6 skaters, all in their 30s, who have devoted their life to the craft.
下面有请国际滑冰联盟代表吉尔吉·艾莱克为获奖运动员颁发奖牌。
He will award the medals.
All of the medalists receive prize money for their efforts, $12,000 for bronze medal, $18,000 for silver, and $25,000 for the champions,
Welcome,
Madison
Li
Chalk
Li,
and Evan Bates.
General Secretary of Chinese Figure Skating Association.
有请中国花样滑冰协会秘书长李丽为获奖
returns to offer the gifts.
She will award the gifts.
And now the skaters have the mascots to pack into their luggage before returning to their respective training bases in North America and Europe.
The technical controller, Christina Hurt.
下面有请裁判长及技术监督向获奖运动员表示祝贺。
They extend their congratulations to the medalists.
And as the technical controller and referee extend their thanks, they too will have seen the development of these athletes over multiple seasons. I'm sure they are appreciative of the way in which these 6 skaters try to push boundaries,
Ladies and
carry the
gentlemen,
sport forward.
please rise for the national anthem of the winner.
女士们、先生们，请起立，奏美国国歌。
Ladies and gentlemen, these are your medalists.
女士们、先生们，让我们向获奖运动员表示热烈的祝贺。
Well, Madison Chalk and Evan Bates as champions, continuing to inspire others, and indeed, prior to the event, the American junior ice dancers coming, joining them on Team USA, were excited to say that they couldn't wait to meet Madison and Evan as world champions, and how wonderful to hear that they inspire others. And indeed, that a question posed to Piper and Paul by Goldskate following the event too, and Piper acknowledging how she remembers being a junior competitor and inspired by the generation before them, the likes of Tanith Belvin, Benjamin Agosto, and Tanith now here as a coach, Tanith White. So the lineage continues. Madison and Evan, the first American champions since Hubble and Donahue won in 2018. Before that, there was a lockout of the title from Merrill Davis and Charlie White, the American Olympic gold medalist. 5 consecutive Grand Prix final titles they won. The North American stranglehold in the world of ice dance continues. 3 Canadian teams, the first time ever that has taken place in a Grand Prix final. And we will expect to see all 3 of the Canadian teams who competed here making the 4 Continents team and the World Championship team in 2024. But the US nationals will be a big battle. We know that the likelihood of Madison Chalk and Evan Bates repeating as champions is very, very likely, but underneath that are multiple very strong international ice dance teams for the United States of America. You don't envy US figure skating and having to pick who will represent them in 4 continents. Indeed, Madison and Evan were second on the Grand Prix Series standings coming into this event. And then there were 4 teams from 10th to 13th, all neck and neck virtually on the Grand Prix standings from the States. They will be in Columbus, Ohio in January, trying to make that coveted world team for the championships in Montreal. It's a very clear instruction for the photos from the journalists celebrating the medalists, all of whom seem to be really happy with the placement or very satisfied and at peace with where they're at. As you see the glittering gold of the medal around Evan Bates' neck. And each of these teams together for over a decade each. It takes 10 years to reach genius level craft, but prior to the partnerships that they form now, each of them were in other competitive partnerships, some with family members, some successful internationally in the junior ranks. Indeed, Bob Poirier was an Olympian with Vanessa Krohn before teaming up with Piper to achieve his greatest successes. And as I mentioned during the event itself, Evan Bates, he won a junior world title. Madison Chock won another, but not together.
Skaters.
再次感谢获奖运动员。
So congratulations to all the medalists in this senior ice dance competition. We excitedly await their next performances on the competitive circuit as the season progresses to the ISU Championships. But now we look ahead to the final medal ceremony, that of the senior women.
ISU Grand Prix of Figure Skating Final 2023 Victory Ceremony Women.
2023到2024赛季国际滑联世界花样滑冰大奖赛总决赛女子单人滑颁奖仪式现在开始。
Third and winner of the bronze medal
红牌获得者
from Japan,
来自日本。
Yoshida Hana.
And a very, very happy bronze medalist, Hana Yoshida. She referenced after the short program that she often makes a comeback, and she did just that. Second in the free skate. The only woman to land the triple axel, was deemed a quarter of a rotation short. That enough to help her move on to the podium. She said it was a dream for her to compete on this stage, and really happy just by skating here.
银牌获得者
From Belgium,
来自比利时。
Luna Hendricks.
And to Luna Hendricks. She's been the runner-up to Kaori Sakamoto at the World Championships back in 2022, but she told Nick McCarville for Olympics.com that she loves to compete with Kaori. Both of a similar age, and Luna explaining that Kaori inspires her to keep training hard. And how fortunate we are to see these women continue to push one another. Luna explaining that she finds that it does get more challenging physically and mentally every passing season. The combination of her and Kaori continue to inspire one another to demand more.
Of the gold medal
金牌获得者
from Japan,
来自日本
Sakamoto Kaori.
So the goal for this season was first throughout the Grand Prix, winner of both of her Grand Prix assignments, and champion finally at the Grand Prix final. She hasn't even medaled at the Grand Prix final before, despite being an Olympic medalist and a two-time world champion. But any mental fragility that she's had in the past didn't show at all during her time in Beijing at the National Indoor Stadium. She said she felt ready, and she delivered. And tears of joy were seen in the kiss and cry. Kaori, now a graduate of the School of Business Administration. Kaori explained that balancing sport and study was incredibly tough. And that may be part of the reason that she struggled through last year's Grand Prix series. But as Mr. Georgi Elik represents the ISU to present the medals, I can explain that Kaori thought that being a student was something that she could only do at this time in her life, and that the reason that she chose to pursue her academics whilst being an elite level sportswoman. Sure, now, having graduated, perhaps that's the reason why she's had increased consistency in this 2023 season.
Please welcome Shen Shui, President of Chinese Figure Skating Association.
And the 2010 Olympic champion in pairs with her husband Hongbo Zhao, Xu Zhen.
She will award the gifts.
A successful Cup of China on the Grand Prix series for China, and obviously a great Grand Prix final held in Beijing in advance of the ISU 4 Continents Championship returning to China in Shanghai from January the 30th onwards.
Please welcome the referee, Helena Gordon-Polterak, and the technical controller, Hermie Ottoman.
Technical controller and referee, we saw Helena Gordon-Polterak during the performance of Luna Hendricks, where she was eyeballed by the Belgian skating star at the end of her performance. She seemed to give good warmth and compassion in smiling at the skaters, and that will be appreciated more than they perhaps know.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of the winner.
女士们、先生们，请起立，奏日本国歌。
gentlemen, these are your medalists.
女士们、先生们，让我们向获奖运动员
Having
表
seen
示
such
热烈
success
的
throughout the
祝
Grand
贺。
Prix series for Japanese skaters, Japanese national anthem played finally. Having seen the German anthem or German flag be raised highest in the pairs discipline, two champions from the United States of America in both the men's and the ice dance event. But Kaori Sakamoto joins along an illustrious list of Japanese women who have won the Grand Prix final. Mai Mahara, Kaori's training mate, was the champion last year. Before that, Rika Kihira, 4 times the wonderful Mao Asada, was a Grand Prix final champion. And with this continued success of Kaori Sakamoto, she is pushing herself into the same breath as the likes of Mao Asada, who holds such a soft spot in the hearts of skating fans. So after the short program, there were 2 Belgian women in rostrum positions, and now 2 Japanese skaters. And I think Hana Yoshida, as the bronze medalist here, is just as happy as the champion. Kaori leads the 3 women in a lap of honor around this rink. She has more success. She was awarded the Kobe City Sports Special Award in August of this year in recognition of the 2 world titles that she's claimed. We keep touching on it as she competes this year, but should she win a 3rd consecutive world title, it'll be the first time that any woman has done that since the 1960s. That really would be an amazing achievement, and I just sense that every passing event we as skating fans grow more and more fond of that endearing person that Kaori is. Nick McCarville with the Olympics interviewing Kaori gives us an insight into her human person and also the International Skating Union's social media. Take some fun examples backstage of the joy that she oozes, which make her such a firm favourite, not just from fans off the ice, but from other members of the Japanese skating team, and indeed competitors around the world from all nations. Kaori will go to the Japanese National Championships at the next stop for her. There she will be joined by so many others, not just Hana Yoshida and Rion Sumiyoshi, who competed alongside her here at the final, but the likes of Rika Watanabe, we saw earlier on the Grand Prix series, Rino Matsuke, Aoki, Monochiba, Mana Kawabe, Mai Mahara perhaps if she's injury free. So many names that have very much the potential to make the coveted spots of the 4 continents team and the world team. A blessing and a curse to come from a skating nation so deep in its talent. Undoubtedly the competition in that nation pushes each of the athletes to create brilliance, but makes it so very difficult to make a world team. Whereas we assume Luna Hendricks will easily be assigned European and World Championship participation. Luna incidentally did not compete at the Belgian National Championships, which took place recently. She cited illness following her last Grand Prix series assignment at the Cup of China. But Luna will join Nina Pinzaron at Europeans and Worlds, I'm sure, and dependent upon the success that they're likely to attain, there could be a third spot for Belgian women going into the 2025 season.
Thank you, skaters, and thank you, audience. It's been a wonderful day
Well,
of competition. We look forward
as
to
the
seeing
announcer,
you
PJ
tomorrow,
Kwong,
2:30
thanks the
p.m.
skaters and the audience. We extend our gratitude to all involved in what has been a brilliant Grand Prix final. And we look forward to watching some exhibition gala performances tomorrow. But for now, congratulations to all the skaters, their coaches, and the Chinese Figure Skating Federation.